Such occasions where when Dr. Deshmukh wanted to contact some must in his own, according to his own point of view, or illnesses of children. And then we used to write to Baba. Whenever I did not feel like bowing down to some must which Dr. Deshmukh brought, then I used to write to Baba, and then Baba instructed him accordingly, not to force us, the family members. And sometimes about illnesses. Once my youngest son, who was not even 5 years old, had a facial paralysis. And then for about 2 months we were having this and that kind of medicine, but it was not having any effect upon him. Then there was a darshan program. Of course, in darshan, it was impossible for him to contact Baba personally. And at that time, as usual, we could not have Baba's contact even for a day or even for some hours. That time, Baba had said that nobody will have personal interview. He only has to have darshan and go. And then, even then, when we went for darshan, I went with my child. And even in that hurried moment, I told Baba that he is having this special paralysis and medicine is not doing any effect. Baba touched his cheek and gave prasad and told me to give that prasad only for 4 days. And then, to our surprise, he was almost cured. Now there is only one remnant of that disease, that while having his food, he drops tears from his left eye. So, about Baba's kindness and Baba's company, there are so many happy memories that we can go on for nights and nights together. And it is such a joy to speak about Baba that no joy can surpass the joy got from these memories. And whenever we had moments to serve Baba or to serve his cause, to serve his people, we were happy. The Princess Norina Machiavelli had come to us, and it was also an experience, because the Second World War was going on at that time, and a policeman in every day, not his own uniform, he used to come and stay in front of our door for the whole of the day. People used to wonder what this man is doing, and then after she left, we came to know that because she was an Italian by birth, that is why the person used to stand by our door watching her what she was doing. For about 5 years we used to come and stay in Pune for Baba's Savas for about a month or so. And every day in the morning we spent with Baba about 2 or 3 hours, and sometimes in the afternoon also. I used to read or write something, and sometimes I used to compose songs on Baba. And 1 year I used to compose 1 song every day. My daughters were with me, and they could sing well, and Baba used to ask them to sing what I had composed that day. And again, when we went to him in the morning, the first question would be, "What have you composed today?" So, and Aarti also, which I had composed, he liked it very much, and Mani also liked the Aarti very much. Then again, I used to read to him the translation which I was doing of God Speaks. There were about 2 or 3 persons which wanted to translate God Speaks. And because I knew that they were also professors in languages, I did not offer myself for translation. But after 3 years, when I came to know that one person who had offered to translate God Speaks could not complete, then I asked Baba for permission for translation of God Speaks, and Baba allowed it. Then the next year, I took that translation to Baba and I read some part of it to him. Then he suggested some words to be changed, and then he said that it is going on very well. So, I feel that my translation is blessed by Baba. Whenever I used to write something, I used to tell him that I am doing this and I am doing that. And in the end, the last year, when I wrote a play upon Baba, incorporating the real experiences from different people, which includes one experience from a teacher, from a lecturer in England, from a lecturer in training college in England, how she contacted Baba, I have incorporated that in the play. And so when I completed that play, I wanted that to be read to Baba. And fortunately, that Baba heard some part of it and he blessed the play with signing his name on that play. He has signed on that as M. Irani, which is quite unique because ordinarily he used to sign as M.S. Irani. But here on my play, he has signed as M. Irani, and he wrote through Bhavu Kalchuri that he was very happy to know about the play. And I am glad to say that it was thrice acted, twice in Nagpur and once in Wardha. I feel that it has become quite an interesting play. Baba had come to us in 1952 after an accident from America, and the last bondage was taken away when he came to our Bangalore. Then I was to cook for him, and Chagan Master taught me the way in which Baba likes his food to be prepared. I learned that and I used to cook for him. It was really very simple. Baba used to like dal and bhat very much. And immediately after he took his food, he would say, when he used to go out for his program, he would say that he won't require anything, that in the evening and I should accompany him. But I felt that although he is saying that, he would require something and I should have something prepared for him in case he asks for it. So, Baba also felt that if he does not get anything in the afternoon where he goes, then in the evening he would require something, and so I might stay at some times. But last day when he was to leave for Nagpur, it was my youngest daughter's birthday, and on our special request, he stayed for a day more at Amravati. Then that day, Baba asked me to accompany him, and he said that as he is leaving, he won't require anything and I need not stay at home. And he would not require particularly rice. But I felt my duty to have some rice, and I kept it in my cooker, and I kept dal and bhat ready. And I accompanied Baba as it was the last day of his darshan and of his company. I wanted to snatch as much of his company as I could, and so I accompanied him. So, after coming back, there were only 15 minutes to leave, and Baba said, "Is rice ready?" Everybody laughed, and everybody was looking at each other's face because all of them knew that Baba had told definitely that today at least he would not require any rice. But rice was ready and he was served with rice, and it was a happy ending. At Amravati, when Baba had come for darshan, for giving darshan in 1952, so many people had gathered. We had so many guests also. And there was a Telugu family perhaps. The father had come with 2 daughters, and one girl was named Meher. The family was really very much devoted to Baba, but they were very poor. When the girl was quite grown up, about 20 years old, and when she saw Baba, she went into ecstasy, started shouting and weeping, shedding tears profusely. And then she listened to nobody, could not be controlled by anybody. And then Baba could only pacify her, made him sit near him, and then only she stopped shouting. Then when we went to Nagpur, there also the family accompanied. And then there also she made scenes like that. Baba told me to look after her. Sometimes she would jump and sit on the near the windows. She would jump quite high and then start shouting. Baba told me to look after her, and surprisingly, she listened to me. When I went to her, she kept quiet. When I asked her to eat something, she would eat. And then Baba asked me to take her to one institute where she was to be looked after. And then that girl was taken there. It was told that she had such attacks for many years, and all the time she was thinking of Baba and going to him. I accompanied Baba in Andhra for darshan for about 10 days, and great crowds came for darshan. And at that time also, I had witnessed some people who went into ecstasy at Baba's darshan. They used to dance, they used to shout, and could not be pacified, and only Baba could pacify them. Even at Meherabad, there was a lady who had gone into ecstasy once. I had witnessed that also. Every day at Pune or wherever we went to Baba, in the morning, generally Baba used to give something like a discourse or explain something about philosophy. And then in the end he would say that he is doing the universal work and his mind gets tired, and he would ask the people gathered there to tell some jokes. Even my youngest son, Pranav Chandra, Baba wanted him also to tell some jokes. In the end, some years when he had asked everybody not to have any correspondence with him, even then Pranav Chandra was allowed to send 2 jokes every month to him. And then in reply, Baba would inform us that he liked the jokes. So we were happy that we could have that communication at least. So, and there is one joke which was a practical joke in Andhra which I would like to say. That when we were going along in a train, there in Telugu, Tisko means give. And when we went there was an arrangement for our taking a bath, but there was nothing, no vessel to have water. So somebody asked to give that vessel. So that means Tisko. Tisko means give. But we who did not know Telugu said that give us a vessel. But that Telugu man said Tisko. So one of us said Tisko means to 30. So he said not to 30 but just to 1. We want a vessel not for 30 but just for 1. So Baba laughed very much. Then a joke which my son Pranav Chandra sent is about a Sardaji. There are many jokes about Sardajis, and particularly it is said that Sardaji ke 12 baje, that is, there is something when it is 12 o'clock, something happens to Sardajis. So once a Sardaji asked, why do they call us like that? Why do they tell stories about us? So many stories about us, and really it is an insult to us. And so he himself tried to find out why people call Sardarji ke 12 baje. That is, it is 12 o'clock for a Sardarji. So he decided to find out what happens at 12 o'clock. So that day, one day, he kept awake at night till midnight. He kept the watch in front of him and started watching and watching. At 12 o'clock, the 2 hands of the watch came together, and the Sardaji started running to his friend. He said, my dear friend, I don't know why these people call about us that it is now 12 o'clock for Sardaji. Really speaking, nothing happens to Sardaji at 12 o'clock, but it is only that something happens to the watch at 12 o'clock, because there is only 1 hand for the watch. So something has happened for the watch, nothing has happened to me. This joke was very much appreciated by Baba. Jai. Well, It is rather difficult to explain. But whenever we went to Baba, we felt his love so much, and particularly on occasions of difficulties at home, illnesses at home, we felt Baba's love, and that made us weep. I don't know how to explain these occasions, but I have seen many people also, illustrious people. I may not name them, but illustrious people just weeping near Baba. Nobody can explain, but these tears give us happiness, and that gives us consolation to our heart. Once Baba had asked all of his disciples to sign a blank paper and then abide by his orders. But on my part, I had 2 children and I was not ready for this ordeal. My husband signed on the paper and sent that to me, but I did not sign it and wrote to Baba that you yourself being God, you know what kind of a girl I am. Once that Baba asked his disciples to sign on a blank paper and then abide by his orders. Dr. Deshmukh signed and sent the paper to me for me to sign. But instead of signing, I wrote to Baba that I do not know what you want from me, and since I have 2 children, I feel that it is my duty to look after them. So I do not feel like signing. Then he said that I may not sign, and after that I felt that in case Dr. Deshmukh leaves us for Baba's service, then I must have something to feed my children. So I did my BT going at Jabalpur. Dr. Deshmukh was staying at Nagpur and serving in a government college. Then it happened that he was attached to one saint very much, and I do not know if it was because the influence of that saint or because of some other influence, but he started having some deity worship, and using some things, rituals, and having great puja. And then when in the end of my course, when he came to Jabalpur to fetch me back to Nagpur, his mind was so much disturbed that he could not concentrate on his work, on his service. He could not walk straight by the road even. I had to take him to Nagpur with the help of my friends, and then when we came to Nagpur, he could not. I found that Deshmukh, there were 2 days for closing his college, but even then he could not go to college. The principal heard stories that Dr. Deshmukh has gone mad and he cannot continue with his service. So he sent a note. When I saw the note, I wrote to the principal, because I knew him also, that Dr. Deshmukh will be coming today to college. So I accompanied him to the college, asked him to say only a word or 2 if asked, and then I brought him back. So somehow the summer vacation began. At night even he could not sleep, and because he could not sleep, I also could not sleep. Then I asked him what was going on in his mind. He said that I feel that nothing happens without the will of the God. And every time he tried to explain, whenever a person came, he tried to explain why this man has come, why I am going to bath, why I am going here. So every time he wanted to give an explanation. There was no end to it. He could not eat his food properly. He could do nothing properly. So I wired to Baba. Baba asked us to go to him to Panchgani. It was really an ordeal to go to Panchgani with a 2-year-old child to look after Dr. Deshmukh and to go such a long distance from Nagpur to Panchgani. We have first to go to Pune, then get into a bus and then to Panchgani. Baba, when we went to Baba, Baba made us stay with him for 4 days. Then he asked Dr. Deshmukh to sit in a cave in which he himself had sat for 1 hour. And then he said that even if a tiger comes, he should not come out. Dr. Deshmukh sat, and during this visit, Vishnu Master helped us a lot. Then Baba asked Dr. Deshmukh either to enjoy immensely, to find out something to enjoy every 10 minutes or every hour, something new to enjoy and be happy, or to enclose himself in a room, live in one room, not to speak with anybody, and just to meditate or do whatever he likes in one room. And he told me also accordingly. So we found out that instead of finding something new to enjoy and to be happy, it is easier to close oneself in a room. And then we decided that Dr. Deshmukh would be sitting in a room and doing whatever he likes. He was not allowed to see even his mother, but I was just allowed to see him, to help him in taking his bath, his food, and my child was allowed to see him. For 2 months, from 24th of April to 25th of June, he was enclosed in a room, taking his food and everything in that room, doing all his business there. And then during that period, it was that he wrote Baba's life, Marathi life. And it was such a helpful period, and this helped him so much that nothing happened after that. He was so much disturbed mentally during this period, or I should say before this period, that I thought that it was impossible for him to continue with his service and to continue with the life even. And then when we went to him, Baba asked us to go back after the completion of these 2 months, and we went again to Panchgani to Baba. Baba was happy to see a great change in Dr. Deshmukh, and thereafter he started with his service also. The principal and all his colleagues also were wonderstruck to see the change in him. This was really a great experience, and nobody except Baba could have helped us in this situation. My brothers were there, my elder maternal uncles were there, but they could not help. They just came and pitied. And I of course thought of nobody but of Baba to go to help. And I was extremely happy that to get this help from Baba. And thereafter, in every situation, I sought Baba's help and got it also.